Welcome back. This year has seen fuel prices increase all over the world, and Namibia is no exception. And with looming threats of closing service stations for a week to address some of the discrepancies they face, consumers are left wondering if it will get better. To help us understand where the situation is headed towards, we are joined by Petroleum Economist Abednego Ekandjo from the Ministry of Mines and Energy. A very good evening to you, Mr. Ekandjo, and welcome to the Daily Roundup.
Good evening, and thank you for hosting me.
Mr. Ekandjo, what is the state of the fuel industry in Namibia at present, would you say?
Yeah, we would say that the state of the fuel industry in the country is in a stable condition. We still have fuel supply coming into the country, and we still have the country supplied, so we are able to still guarantee the security of fuel supply to the country. But however, although this fuel is available, it is available at high prices. And this is mainly due to factors such as a high exchange rate, high barrel prices, as well as high shipping costs. But what we can say is that the fuel industry is stable in the country.
So the price increase in fuel has not only put a dent in the pockets of the consumers, but jobs and livelihoods have also been affected. The fishing industry being a perfect example of this. To what extent will the current fuel issue, if not addressed, affect the daily lives of Namibians and the country's economy?
Yeah, that is true. We acknowledge that the high fuel prices have negative implications on the consumers, especially at the microeconomic level. Consumers have now to start prioritizing cutting out the luxuries of life and only focusing on the necessities. This entails that the cost of goods and services, whether it's now food or whether it's transportation services, have increased. So the effect on the livelihood of the people is very negative. And on the economy as a whole, like the example of the fishing sector that you are giving, we don't want fishing companies to close down because they simply cannot survive with these high fuel prices and other factors that are going on. So we totally acknowledge that the effect on the economy as well as on the individual consumer is negative.
Well, you are advising that people cut down on luxuries, but what are the regulating authorities? What is the Ministry of Mines and Energy doing to remedy the situation, and how soon can the benefits of such actions be seen?
Yeah, the ministry is very busy in the background, exploring all types of avenues, exploring all types of options, to see how best we can land petroleum products in the country at much lower rates. So the ministry is engaging international partners all across the world to see exactly where we can find better costing or cheaper costing fuel so we can remedy this situation. But this is work in progress. And in the next month, 2 months or so, we will come back to the public with definite answers on how far we have gone with some of those approaches.
Right. Now, with the case of petrol service station owners who say that they are no longer making a profit and fishing vessels that are grounded, how is the ministry addressing this situation, which is very critical, I should think?
Yeah, absolutely. The case of service station owners, what we can say at the current moment is that we did not yet receive an official notification of the strike that we keep hearing about. But what we can say at this point is that the ministry's position is clear. The service station owners want an increase in the dealer margin. But what we have communicated to them is that at this moment in time, we are not really, the ministry cannot really put more pressure on the consumer by increasing the dealer margin. But the negotiations are still ongoing, the engagements are still ongoing, and we can only hope that the market conditions improve so that we can see how best we can address the issue of service station owners. And with regard to the fishing vessels, it's unfortunate that some companies have to find themselves in that dire situation. And we can only really hope that the conditions in the international market improve, as well as the options that the ministry is pursuing will bear the desired fruit so that we can turn our fortunes around.
Finally, Mr. Ekandjo, if I understand you correctly, you are saying that there is a chance of relief should consumers tighten their seatbelts in terms of fuel prices. Is that what you are saying?
Yeah, not necessarily, because we don't want to promise and then we don't end up delivering. But what we are saying is the ministry is busy exploring various options or various fuel procurement strategies to see how best we can lend petroleum products at a much cheaper rate. But in the next month or 2 months or so, I will come back to the public with definite answers. But based on our current fuel procurement strategy and fuel pricing model, we all know how the situation has been going during the last months, the last 6 months of this year. Fuel prices have been increasing, and it will be advisable for the consumer to tighten their belts in the foreseeable future.
Thank you.
Although there is hope that we might remedy the situation.
Thank you, Mr. Ekandjo, for speaking to us.
Thank you so much.
That was Petroleum Economist Abednego Ekandjo from the Ministry of Mines and Energy, advising us there to